Hey guys, it's just me right now. Bob is trying to get things situated with the kids and, family stuff so he can come in and join me. Once he gets in, we're going to go ahead and get started. We're not going to wait for anybody to jump on. I know a lot of people, when they do live videos, they wait for people to jump on. But as soon as this is done and I post it, it hangs out on our Facebook page and you guys can watch the replay and rewind and whatever as much as you need to. So I'm not going to wait. So a few little introductory tidbits. Bob is so not a big social media person. He doesn't like putting his life out there, and especially specifically live videos, make him really nervous. And he's not a very he doesn't talk much. So this is all very much outside of the box for him. But we see so many people. Sorry, I forgot to put it on airplane mode. We see so many people that, reach out and say how much they admire our relationship, and they're curious about, our Zen, Buddhist, yoga lifestyle and how that affects our relationship. And so we just felt like maybe this would be a good way to start a conversation with people about how to look at your relationships differently and have a different take on your relationship. We are in our bedroom, nothing fancy, but it is, the place for romantic relationships. So I thought that it'd be a nice quiet place away from the kids and the pets and everything to go ahead and do this live video. So Bob's coming in very apprehensive. Come sit down. I told them that live video is uncomfortable for you.
Super.
So what we're doing is just talking about our relationship and how maybe the Zen, Buddhism, and yoga, theories or whatever you want to call them, affect our relationship, or how we use those to kind of change our perspective for our relationship versus other relationships. And I've been reading a lot lately and sharing about non-attachment. And a lot of people have a hard time grasping non-attachment when it comes to relationships, because obviously there has to be some sort of attachment in a relationship, especially when you are either married and or have kids and you have a home together. How would you explain non-attachment in a relationship situation? Too hard?
Don't put me on the spot. That's not cool.
You don't already think about that when you think about non-attachment in our relationship?
No.
No?
No.
We don't have to talk about that. We can talk about that another time. Let's see, there's something else so one thing that always stands out to me is how you always talk about that you're going to die before me. Why do you feel that way? That's for you how it has to be.
That I'm going to die before you? No, it's
No.
You're supposed to die before
I'm
me.
sorry, I said that wrong. That I would die before you.
What, so you don't have to suffer when I die. It's the kind of the Buddhist way. You would rather keep your loved one from suffering and take the suffer on yourself.
And the reason why I ask is because I think that's a super important thing, not just when it comes to dying, but the whole and suffering to some people may be a hard word to understand, but I've made a post before kind of prepping for this group about maybe use happiness, because it's an easier word for people to understand, putting your partner's happiness before yours. So in that sense, you take on the suffering so they can be happier. And I think that's something...
Sugarcoating it.
Yeah, but it's easier for people to understand. These Buddhist words and stuff will throw people off because they're whoa, that's getting too religious, or that's too against my religion to talk about it that way. So, yeah, I mean, that really kind of takes it a little bit out of context, but it's in a way that other people can understand. But I think that that's something that we really do well in our relationship is rather than me saying, you need to make me happy, or you saying to me, you need to make me happy, we work, you know, on our own to make the other person happy and take ourselves kind of like out of the equation. Don't you think?
Yeah. Put the other first.
Yeah. And I know a lot of people think that they really do that in their relationships, but it sounds really mean, but I don't believe them. Because otherwise, if you truly did put your partner's happiness before yours, then we wouldn't have as much suffering in relationships that we have. But I'm constantly, and I guess that's another thing that I'm thinking about too, is that like, this is not just like the big grand gestures. It's knowing your partner and knowing what their love language is. Like if your partner's love language is signs of affection, then the way that you show them that you love and care and are putting them first is to show them affection. If their love language is affirmations, then you would tell them all the time, you're so great, you're perfect, you're so hot, you know, like you would be affirming them all the time. For me, my love language is like acts of service. So when you clean the house, because I love a clean house, to me that says I love you more than saying I love you. And that's what you do to like make me happy. I don't know what your love language is.
Neither do I.
We'll have to make you do the quiz.
I didn't know there was one.
Yeah, it's the 5 love languages. Y'all should look it up. What do you want to say about our relationship?
Oh.
You don't have to say anything. I know that this makes you uncomfortable.
It's good.
What do you think?
I don't know what to say about it.
What do you think makes us different?
I don't know.
Why do you think we don't fight?
Because I always give in. It's putting the other one first. I suffer, so you don't have to yell at me.
That is a very typical, like, male perspective in relationships, though. And people that don't know you don't know that that's not really how you feel. They'll be like, oh, that's a passive-aggressive. He says he's joking, but there's a hint of truth to it, which I do believe that. But I know for us that that's not true. But you really don't feel that way. I know that.
That's right.
But why do you think we don't fight? I mean, we have fought, but it's been years now since we've had. For the beginning of our relationship, you know, when we were learning and feeling each other out, especially when we moved in with each other, I think we had some fights and some arguments. But now that, you know, we've gotten to know each other and we're comfortable in our relationship, I can't remember any fight or argument that we've had. I mean, we have disagreements. We definitely have differing of opinions on things, but we always seem to make it work without fighting. Like, how do you think we do that?
Similar beliefs. Similar ways of doing things.
I think it's the big picture. I think that a lot of the things that people fight about and bicker about in the whole scheme of things is really stupid. And it's like, you have to have the last word. You have to be right. Not you, just like, you know, in relationships in general. There's always this, like, I have to be right. I have to have the last word type thing. And I know neither one of us feels that way. But that kind of seems like an oversimplification. But I don't know, like, you just have to, like, fucking get over it and realize that the shit you're bickering about is stupid in the whole scheme of things. And if it's not going to matter tomorrow or in 5 days, who gives a shit? Move on. What do you like about our relationship?
We don't fight.
What else? I like that we don't fight, but some people would think that that's unhealthy. I guess that's all in your own perspective as well.
I don't know, I guess that's that we're on the same page with most things.
What do you think it is about our beliefs? Because you said that part of the reason why I think we don't fight and why we work so well is similar beliefs. What do you think those beliefs are? Like, what if somebody watching wanted to know, well, what are those beliefs? So they can look into it and see if that's something that maybe they could incorporate into their own, maybe, life or spirituality.
You should have given me a sheet of questions.
I could prep. I didn't even prep. This is just rolling off. I will prep more later as more questions come in. But this is just, this is what our normal deep conversations are about anyways. Which we haven't had in quite a while. But when we do talk about this stuff, this is what we talk about. You don't know, what you think our beliefs are?
Well, I don't know what my beliefs are, but I've never really put it into thought as to how it affects the relationship.
Well, one of my big ones is that happiness is a choice. You can choose to be happy, you can choose to be angry, you can choose whatever emotions, and a lot of people disagree, and, I can come from years of depression and anxiety and all kinds of stuff to say, on the other side of it, there is still, a piece that is a choice. You can sit and wallow in, the anger, the sadness, or the irritation, or whatever, or you can just say, you know what, this is so stupid, it's not even worth it, and then and move on. So happiness is a choice that you make. You can say, I choose to see this moment, this situation, this argument, this comment, or whatever, I choose to see it differently. I choose to see it with love, I choose to see it with happiness, and I choose to see it maybe from their perspective. See, and that's another thing I think that we both do really well, is that we stop and take a moment to try and see the other person's perspective. And we're brutally honest. Like me, with my depression and my anxiety, rather than keeping it from you when I feel those moments. I'm raw and honest about exactly what I'm feeling when I'm feeling it. Even though sometimes it scares the hell out of you. I'm talking a lot. You don't have
it's
anything
okay.
to say.
You're the talker, I'm not.
You don't have anything you want? Any input? Nothing that comes to mind when I say something?
Mm-hmm. No, I think you're hitting it pretty well. Like I said, we're both on the same page.
I think, too, that we're super supportive of each other's, wacky ideas and endeavors. I'm sure when I signed up to be a Beachbody coach, there was part of you that was like, what? And you're going to spend how much a month? And you don't know when you're going to make money? And you're going to share another video? But you still do it anyways. And then your essential oils.
And then here I am.
Yeah.
With your wacky idea.
Yeah, but if it doesn't work, if people aren't digging it or whatever, it's easy enough to just move on and find a different way to share with people. But I think that there's a good message in our relationship, that I think that even if it's one couple that maybe is on the verge of breaking up, that finds a new perspective and it can heal them, I think that's pretty sweet. I think we both have learned a lot from the past too, and you realize what matters and what doesn't, and what makes relationships tick and what makes them fall apart. You work not to do that again.
Yeah, try not to repeat the same mistakes.
Yeah.
Not that anything in the past was a mistake. That probably came out wrong. But.
Yeah, well, we all make mistakes. Even if it's your role in a relationship where you could have done something better, that was your mistake that you try not to repeat. And I drank too much and was crazy in some of my past relationships. I don't do that now. Any last words? We'll make this one short.
This was short?
Bob's very, jokey. How do you explain that? That's not the right word.
Sarcastic.
Yes. Very sarcastic. And I cannot always tell when he's serious and when he's joking. He always pulls one over on me. And Erin, his daughter, is getting really good at it too. I never know when y'all are serious.
It's the way we are. Deal with it.
It's one of the things I love about you. Any last words?
Sorry, I don't have more input.
No, you're fine. Next time, we'll have a better plan as people watch this and maybe have questions or want us to elaborate or whatever, or if there's a specific topic that you'd like to see us cover, we can do that. And you can, message us and ask things anonymously, and we can, put it out there anonymously, like this is what somebody said and they want to know how we'd handle it. We can do that. Whatever, just any questions or thoughts or comments that you have, just comment on here or message us and let us know, and we'll cover that every Monday night. We're going to try to do it at 8:30, but I'm going to be honest, we have 4 kids. It's the summertime right now, so it's pretty easy to have the time, but when school starts, who knows, we may have to end it because 8:30 may not work. And we also have a baby, and 8:30 is sometimes kind of the time that she starts to go to sleep. So these chats will be kind of like our lives. We just kind of roll with it. And if it works, it doesn't. If it works, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And we'll pick up another week, or maybe we'll pick up a later time, and you'll just have to watch the replay later. Anyways, thanks.
Till then.
Thanks for humoring me.
Anytime.
All right, guys. Y'all have a good night.